Welcome
to episode 2
of Knit One.
Heart 2.
Heart. I gotta work on that.
Yeah, you have
there
to
you go.
Heart 2. Episode 2.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy on Ravelry.
Yes.
And
do you want to go first? You go first.
Yeah, I'll go first today.
Yeah.
Do you want to start out with what we have on the dance card?
On the dance card, what we are knitting.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm knitting, I just started it, something called the Fagus shawl, F-A-G-U-S. I really don't think it's supposed to be pronounced Fagus, which would be the other way, so I'm sticking with Fagus. Sounds better.
Falling out of frame. Sorry.
That's how it looks. It's on Ravelry.
Pay pattern or? No, it's not.
It's a pay pattern. Fagus shawl by Anne Lundblad. It's available on Ravelry for $3.50. And I'm knitting it out of Packapeds HT. And
it's pretty.
There we go. And I can't remember the name. Something Spring. Do you remember?
Oh, green. Wasn't it Coming Spring?
Something about spring. It's
spring
from the
coming.
Loopy, it's from the Loopy U February kit, and it is from the Alpaca Yarn Company. Fingering weight yarn, 65% superwash wool, 20% alpaca, and 15% nylon. And so far, it's been pretty good to work with. I cast on a couple of days ago. Isn't that pretty? It's got like little leaves.
Oh my gosh, that looks so tiny.
I know. Well, I'm knitting on number 3 needles. These are US 3 needles. You just keep knitting until you run out of yarn. It's stretchy.
That's pretty.
Isn't it pretty? I like it. This is a lot of fun. I thought that these little ridges here were going to be twisted stitch, and sometimes it drives me crazy to knit twisted stitch, but it turns out it's a slipped stitch. So on the back side you go across and you slip, and on the front side you go across and you just knit across. So it ends up being mostly knitting, because this is a reverse stockinette in between here. And the only real pattern work is on the edge, and you increase out on the edges as you go. You cast on extra stitches. It's been really fun. It's an interesting knit.
It's cute.
As soon as I saw the pattern come up, I knew I had to knit it because it has the little leaves on the bottom of it. I love leaves. I don't know why. And the colors just called out to be a sort of a spring shawlette. So I'm really enjoying it, and I can not very many people have done the pattern on Ravelry. You should really do it. It's a good pattern. I love it.
It will definitely be one of my queue.
It's worth the $3.50. So that's the one thing that's on my needles. The second thing is I'm still working on my voodoo doll. This is the start of the body. Haven't gotten a lot of work on that because once I got done with my previous project, I really wanted to cast on that shawl. So those are my 2 things on the needles that I'm currently working on. Yes.
I have 2 things as well. I still have sorry, I keep going out of frame, Pinkerton shawl. I got a little bit further done on the stockinette, not a whole lot, and you can't see because it's black against a black couch, and sorry for that.
There you go.
I'm hoping to finish up and at least start the lace portion of it.
That'll get more interesting when you get to the
I'm hoping to get it more interesting. And the other thing I have on the needles is I am knitting a monster by Rebecca Danger.
We love Rebecca Danger.
From her knitted The Big Book of Monsters book, and I am knitting, let's see if
I love that monster.
Harold, the houseplant monster, because I really love his toes. So actually I have got 1 foot and leg done. I'm using Knit Picks Bare Essentials.
That came out so cute.
Well, I like that. I did the way you're supposed to do it is cast on 3 stitches and then add stitches.
Yeah.
But I did Judy's Magic Cast On for the toes.
Oh, that was probably a good idea.
Well, then I tried something else where I did the heel first.
And knit up to the toes.
And knit up to the toes. These toes are a little bit pointier, so I got to figure out which ones I like better.
I like the fat toes.
I kind of like the fat toes too, and I think I know how I can get those to be fat toes.
Yeah.
And that would be
Well, I forgot to put this on. There we go.
And I think that would be to Kitchener it without
Kitchener at the end, so that it's a flat seam across.
Yeah, and then this
That's
is
a good
the
idea.
body.
Oh, I love him.
And I'm doing something different with it. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, she told me she's gonna do something cool to it when it's all done.
So yeah, that's all that's on my dance card. And well, the Soroyan's on my dance card, but it hasn't been danced
She
with,
hasn't been working on it.
and we don't count that. So.
Well, let's see. Are we doing Rate Your Date next?
Yes, Rate
you
Your
go
Date.
First with Rate Your Date.
I only have one finished item. I finished my owlings, and yes, here they are. And there we go.
Pull it
That's
back
good.
a little bit. There. Whoops.
I know, but if we do, then I don't get the good light on them.
I know. There. There.
So these were for me. I don't know if they will be.
See the
but
little owls?
I'm gonna put 2 little buttons
On the eyes.
on the eye for the eyes, and they fit nice. They're a little long,
I like them that long.
but they're also thick, which I don't know.
You're not sure you love
I
them?
don't know if I
I'll
love
try
the pattern. It was very easy. I love doing it. I don't know.
These are very cute.
I've come to realize that I am not the type of person who keeps my knitting. I'd rather give it away. So these will probably go.
I don't know what is wrong with you.
Well, I can only have so much stuff, and I don't know.
I hear you.
I
I hear you, but I don't.
I
know
think
what's wrong
because
with you.
I didn't grow up knitting.
Yeah.
So, I didn't have knitted mittens when I was growing up. I don't know.
Well, they came out.
So
great.
it's thank you. I think what it is it just feels awkward.
I think what it is you don't love yourself enough to give yourself.
No,
gifts.
absolutely not. That's not what it is. Maybe
Where on the other hand, I love myself so much.
Maybe the
that
problem is I love
myself
myself too much that these are not worthy of me. I don't
okay,
know.
maybe.
This was These were out of Cascade 220 Superwash Plum Color. Lovely. Love the yarn. I don't know.
Don't know if you keep them.
I'm one of those that if I'm not 100% thrilled with it, I usually give them away.
Knitting should be an enjoyable activity that you do because you love it, right?
Right. And I do.
So
I do
it
love
doesn't
it.
matter what happens with the project. It's the
go,
process.
It could go in a bin for eternity and never be seen again.
It's the journey, not the destination, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter. Rate my date. I'm wearing my date. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. It's poncho. Just a little it's called the Cabled Capelet by Patons. I discussed it in the last episode. It's out of this random bulky felting yarn that I had in my stash. Took about 4.5 skeins.
And how are you doing with that random bulky yarn in your stash?
Well, now I'm down. I think I only have like 4 more skeins of it.
Oh, no.
I've made monsters out of it. I made this out of it. I still have, maybe I'll make a purse out of it. I got to get rid of it.
But the purse you could felt.
I know. Well, and I've never felt it though.
All right.
She can felt it for me. I made a couple of modifications to this. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. There's a cabled edging that you knit in a strip first and you pick up. And I was supposed to do a row of pearls before I started. It would have made it look a little fancier, I guess.
But would it have also helped it from rolling down a little?
I don't know.
Or rolling up?
I mean, this isn't blocked. I think when I block it, that'll help. A part of the reason it's rolling up is because it is what it is. It's a capelet. If I do anything with my arms above here, it goes up.
Yeah.
So, which is why I hate capelets, and I realize that now. I have another one that I never wear because it does that. But I didn't do the pearl row because I totally forgot, so I'm calling that a modification. And then it was supposed to have... This is supposed to be a much bigger
cowl more.
Yeah, like a turtleneck. It's supposed to fold over and it's supposed to be ribbed, and I really didn't like it. I didn't think it went with the rest of the thing so much. So I just decreased it more and knit just a straight tube that rolls. It's more comfortable to me. And it's very warm. I think it'll be good next fall. I do need to block it out a little bit because it...
Will it stretch down a little?
Yes, it'll be bigger. It's big enough, but you can see it's pretty big. But the band will be looser and more less hopefully bunchy when I move around. It is nice to get underneath it. Okay, I keep forgetting.
With the...
There we go. That should stop it. I don't know. I thought I set this up so that we wouldn't be having the screen go dark, but apparently not. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. It didn't take long at all to work up. It's a really fat yarn, and it was easy to modify because it's just a yoke that you knit up. And,
right.
I made a couple of errors in the way that I increased it, and I didn't even care because you can't really tell.
Increased or decreased?
Decreased, decreased. Yeah, because it's bottom up. I just randomly, I mean, if I had done it, I'm really mathematical and symmetrical, and I would have evenly increased, or decreased. Why do I keep saying increased? Decreased all the way up until I got to the collar. That's not how the pattern was written.
Oh,
so
that would make sense a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of different ways you could address it. You could have also done like a, what do you call that kind of, that they have on sweaters?
Oh, the raglan
Yes,
sleeve
you could have done
style.
a raglan, just basic raglan. It would have given it a little more of a shoulder shape.
Yeah.
Which might help it sit down more instead of being round, like it's round. So, there's a really good book out there called Wrap Style.
Is that the one that I did my wrap from?
Yes.
I like that
They
book.
give you a lot of options in there on how to modify it, how to design your own capelet or shawl or poncho. Yeah. And they have a lot of ideas in there. And I think if I knit this again, which I probably won't because I don't have enough of this yarn anymore, but if I was to knit it again, I think I would take a look at that book and maybe do some, a couple of modifications out of there that just make it more me. But I'm happy with it. I think it'll be really a great pullover in the fall.
Well, spring, early spring.
And it's cool enough in here that it's warm. So yeah, I'd give it a pretty good and easy. If you want an easy project that will go really fast, this is the project for you. So yeah, that's all I finished this week because I didn't work on my voodoo doll much. And I lost the head to the voodoo doll. I think the dog took it, so I might have to knit another one or crochet another one.
Aww.
So yeah, we'll figure that out later. So
any planned dates?
Planned dates. I do have 2 planned dates. I'm so proud of myself. I'm gonna do the traveling sweater by A. Karen Alfke. It looks like, oh, I have it right here. It looks like
pretty sweater.
That. It's kind of hard. There we go.
Oh, ribbing.
Yes, it's all ribbing. It was designed for Blue Moon Fiber Arts, which is the people that make socks that rock. And it was designed to be knit out of Wubu, the wool bamboo that they do, which is gorgeous. And I was totally going to buy some. But it's expensive, and since I bought a ton of yarn on the yarn crawl, and then this weekend I bought more yarn, so my yarn diet is totally out the window. I thought I would do it in something else. So I picked up some Valley Yarns Northfield in a DK weight, 70% merino, 20% alpaca, and 10% silk. And each skein is 124 yards, because this eats yarn like there's no tomorrow. I think I needed 2,500 yards for it. Oh, really? Yeah, it's a DK, so it takes a lot of yarn. DK, man, it eats yarn. So, yeah, I'm going to do it in that. And as soon as I'm done with the voodoo doll and the shawlette, I'm definitely going to cast on that traveling sweater, because the great thing about it comes in 2 sizes. If you look on Ravelry, you will see it doesn't matter if you're tall, short, fat, thin, I don't know, humpbacked. It's going to look good on you. It's a good sweater. It looks good on everybody. Oh, really? It looks good on every shape. I don't know. There's just something about it. So, I've been dying to knit a sweater. Last year I knit like 8 sweaters. You were trying for the 10 in 2010? I was trying for 12 in 2010. Oh. I did 8. Not bad. I know. And I miss
No, I did a baby.
I miss sweater knitting, but I've been losing weight, so I've been hesitant to knit anything because I don't want to knit something and then have it turn out to be too big and unattractive. And we'll talk more about that later. So this is perfect. I'll knit the smaller size. It'll look good no matter if I'm fat or thin. So
well, in some of the ways I've seen it, I saw somebody wear it with a belt that looked really good too.
They have a million different ways. You can wear it with shawl pin, you can wear it open, you can wear it with
No
belt.
buttons, no button bands.
I don't know if anybody's put buttons on it because it's got like a curvy.
No, I don't think it
front.
has, but
there are a lot of different ways you could wear it. So that's one plan. And the other thing that I'm gonna do, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, today we don't have the dimming of the screen. We just have the
automatic.
the screensaver's coming on like every 10 minutes. We will figure this out by episode 3. The other thing that I'm going to do is the Zinnia Dahlia hat by Petra Hoy. It's free from her website on Rav.
Now, is this the one that we had talked about doing a knit along?
Yeah, but it's
Sort
not
of
the one that I
informed.
showed you. It's a different one because after I looked at my yarn more closely, I realized that it was not fingering weight, it was worsted weight. Big difference.
Oh, you need worsted weight?
I'm doing it in Still River Mill 7 Sammys, which
That's
I
right.
will talk about later. But that's worsted 20% Samoyed dog fur and 80% merino, and I have 200 yards of it. And it's pretty cool. So I really want to knit a hat out of it because it's just, I can't even describe to you how awesome it is. So that's my plans, those 2 things. Hopefully I'll at least have the zombie and the zinnia hat done by next week. I'm going to try to really roll. The zinnia hat's probably a one-night stand. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. It's a worsted weight hat. It shouldn't take me more than a day to do.
Yeah, my plan dates Claudia by MJ Kim. Probably using Knit Picks, Bare Essentials, and dyeing it brown for my brother.
Is that hat?
Yeah.
I almost was going to do Claudia.
It's
That's
similar
so funny.
to the Cool Haas hat that I was going to do.
It has the crisscrossy. Yeah, I almost
It
was
has,
going to do that.
what do they call it? Vine? No, they have...
Trellis.
Trellis pattern. And the front right up on the band.
Just
and
on
then
the
it
band.
goes, the twisted stitch and purling continues. I'll talk about my experience with Cool Haas later, but I think I'm going to do Claudia instead. And then I need to do some more felted clogs.
Oh.
I made these for my son. He doesn't wear them, so I took them. Yes, we fit in the same size shoe, and that's not me being small feet. And I've worn a hole through them. So this is Fiber Trends Felted Clogs Bev
Gillespie.
So I'm not sure if I'll cast on for these by next week, but I'm hoping to because, yeah, I need some.
Wow, you wore right through it.
I wear them all the time, and if I'm taking a nap on the couch because I work overnight, I tend to take a nap with these on because it keeps my feet toasty warm, and I'm kind of wondering if that's how the holes got there.
Maybe. I don't know. They
But
get good wear, though.
Yeah, those are my 2 planned dates, but I definitely have to cast on for that hat because I've been owing my brother several months for it, although it'll be better than the last time I owed him a project. I owed him a pair of the felted clogs from last Christmas, and I gave it to him shortly after this Christmas, so yeah.
Okay, well.
So anything better than that will be
Anything
great.
better than year, he's going to be impressed.
Yeah, no kidding. So that's my planned date. Any crushes and heartbreaks for you?
I brought a very special heartbreak to share with everyone this week. I have to tell you a little background. It's a story about a girl who was so in love with this sweater, the Myrtle Cardigan by Snowden Becker, $5 on Ravelry if you want to purchase it. As soon as I saw that sweater, I was dreaming about what I was going to knit it out of. I must have been on a million websites. It's a fingering weight sweater, looking at all the different things, wondering if I would even dye something to get it to be perfect. And I finally realized after going to Stitches East 2 years ago that I had to make it out of String Theory Caper Sock, which is a merino cashmere sock. I love it. I think it's one of my favorite cashmere base yarns. And I had knit a shawl out of it, and I thought, I just want to knit that myrtle, and I wanted it to be in this like orangey brown colorway, and I had this whole image in my head, and I saved up, and I bought, I think, 5 skeins, which was a haul because it's like $25 a skein or something.
Was it like over 400 yards each?
Yes, it's good yardage. But it's a lace thing, and I bought the pattern, and I had read on the reviews, because I always read the reviews on Ravelry before I start any pattern to make sure there's nothing weird, that some people had problems doing the decreases on the sleeve because of the lace pattern. You had kind of, the pattern tells you to fudge it. And I was like, you know, I've been knitting for almost 40 years, so I'm probably gonna be able to fudge it. I've made a million sweaters since I was in high school. I can do this. So it all went well until I got to the sleeve. And the 3 sleeves that I knit on it looked like, and I'm really sorry if there are kids in the room, cover their ears, it just looked like ass. There is no way to describe it other than it looked like ass.
3 sleeves?
I did 3 sleeves.
Okay.
I did 3 sleeves. I did them 3 different ways. I ripped them all out. I finally decided to do one that had primarily stockinette and just a little bit of the lace on the top.
Now the pattern called for what? All lace?
It was supposed to be the lace all the way around. It didn't look good. I did it the largest size. I suspect that there might be some math problems with the largest size. I don't know. I finally gave up and I did my own, and I had to buy more yarn because...
Oh, you did?
Yes, because all this stockinette ate up a lot of yardage that wasn't expected for. This is the rest of the sweater. Let's see if I can get a side that you can see.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's gorgeous. So I got that done. The sleeves decrease naturally, and I don't know, I tried the best that I could, but I got this like puff thing. It's like, I don't know if anyone ever saw Seinfeld when he had to wear the puffy shirt.
Puffy sleeves, yeah.
This has puffy sleeves. I did exactly what I was supposed to do, and it came out with puffy sleeves. And I blocked it. I practically touched it with butterfly wings. I did not want it to get any bigger than it already is because it's a very stretchy lace. And it's disastrous. It was disastrous 21 pounds ago, and it's still disastrous. And I'm just going to show you how disastrous it is. There's no coming back from this sweater. All right. First of all, you can see the puffiness of the sleeve. I'm sticking you out of the camera
That's
for a minute.
all right.
Because the sleeves are just horrible. Okay.
Oh.
Now, you have to understand, I have lost 21 pounds since I could wear this, but
Yeah, but I don't think you
can
lost
you
21
see
pounds from your
in
shoulders.
my shoulders? Even though I raised the neck 3 repeats, I really don't think I could go out unless I had something under this because the girls would just be popping out.
Well,
And
I wouldn't wear it.
I'm going to stand up and let you see.
Sorry, not a very good picture of it, but otherwise, it's an absolutely, from like here down, it's a gorgeous sweater.
It's gorgeous, but even this is supposed to be with negative ease. And it's
Actually, it doesn't look that bad.
well, from
like here down.
From the boobs down, it's great. So, and then the sleeves. Oh, wrong one. I'll show you this one.
Bring it back. There you go.
So all I can say about that is this pattern done me wrong.
This is a major heartbreak.
This is a heartbreak. I've been kind of festering over what to do with it. I've thought about ripping it back down to the boobs and reknitting it, which is an option. Because I'm angry that I don't have the sweater. Because I love that sweater. And I'm angry that all that work went into it and I can't wear it. But
that and the fact that, okay, we understand that, $5 for a pattern really isn't that much considering how much patterns can cost if you buy a book. But still, $5 is expensive for a pattern nowadays where you can get $2 or $3. Actually, $5 is a decent price. I shouldn't say that. But to say fudge it.
She's made modifications to the pattern since I knit it. Not to my size or my former size or whatever it was. I think what I'm going to do, and I've been debating it I finished this last summer, and I've worn it once, and it looked bad then, and the more weight I lose, the worse it's going to get. nah.
The shoulders are just gonna...
It's horrible. They're horrible. I think I'm going to rip it out. And I can't decide whether I'm going to rip it out and knit another one, this time paying more attention to everything. I don't know.
Or just knit something.
Or if I'm just going to knit something else.
The question I have about knitting it up, ripping it out and knitting another one is, would you wear it?
I should wear it. I mean, I would wear it. I love this sweater. I love the part of the sweater that looks nice. Just don't like...
Would you rip it all the way back? I mean, obviously you would need a smaller size now.
I would rip it all the way back. I would need to start from scratch. I just don't know if I can go through the process of knitting it again. It took me like 6 weeks to knit it the first time because I had to keep redoing the sleeves. And this time it probably wouldn't take me as long because I know a lot of the...
And you know what modifications you would need. Like
yes.
The sleeves, you wouldn't do the full lace pattern. I think I saw a version of that where they just did the lattice work, not the leaf, which I thought was very pretty on the sleeve.
A lot of people have modified the sleeve.
I modified the sweater because a lot of people don't have the full lace around the sweater too, right?
Yeah, I had no problem knitting it with the full lace on the body. I would try knitting the full lace on the sleeves, but I would chart out the increases on the underside so it didn't look like ass. And I made the sleeves longer than the pattern calls for. I would still do that, and I would raise the neckline up to here, so maybe another few repeats because I don't know what you would wear under that. I can't even, if I hadn't raised it, I think it would have been below my boobs. So I mean,
you would have to wear not a t-shirt, but
something.
Well, yeah, it's lace. I mean,
no, but it looks funny with a regular neck t-shirt because it's so low. I want it to be more like this is. I like where this is.
Yeah,
something that's more here. So yeah, I am probably gonna frog it. I feel really bad. A lot of people have favorited it, but I think it's because my notes on my project about the sweater are pretty honest about how I felt about it.
Well, what you could do is frog it and put the yarn away for a little bit.
I think that's what I'm going to do. Frog it, reskein it, let it rest, and knit something else in the meantime with my other sweater's worth of string theory yarn in black cherry, which...
Do you have an idea for that one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to either do Anne Hanson's Sprossling, which is a pay pattern on Ravelry, or some other one that I just queued up that I can't think of the name of. Okay. But it's similar, but I know from working with Anne Hanson's patterns before, I know that will be very explicit and well written, and I won't have to stress out. I guess my point is, it was difficult to do a full lace pattern sweater. And it was compounded by the fact that I had to make up portions of the sweater out of my head as I did it. I kind of wanted to use all my concentration on the lace and not have to worry about all the numbers. And
well, I mean, sometimes that's what you do when you pay for a pattern is somebody already worked out the numbers for you or should have worked out the numbers for you.
To be honest, her pattern does say as you read through it that you have to know some stuff, but I put it really explicitly in my thing because I think there are a lot of people, you can't read the full pattern, obviously, before you buy it. And I don't know if she's changed her front page. I haven't looked lately. And I love her other designs, and I know people that have knit her other patterns and they haven't had any trouble. It's just this one sweater. So, yeah, that was my big heartbreak. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get over it. And I'll keep you posted on what I decide to do if I decide to go back and knit it again. I don't think I'm going to.
No.
So anyway, that's my heartbreak. I didn't have any crushes this week.
I didn't have any crushes this week. Did I? I'm not sure. Actually, now that I think about it. But my heartbreak is trying to work on that Cool House hat. I cast on for it a couple of times. With my Cascade Eco Wool, and then I tried the Eco Wool with the Claudia, and it came to a point where that type of pattern with the lattice work is not meant for Eco Wool. It's kind of too fuzzy.
Right.
And then I started doing the Cool House and realized, yeah, I did this twice. I don't want to do it a third time. Very nice hat. Very
I love that hat
time-consuming, I know how to cable without a cable needle, but there's something that is even worse than cabling without a cable needle. It's just, it's,
It's too much cabling. That's how I felt.
well, I wouldn't even call it too much cabling, but it's like you're cabling without actually getting a cable effect out of it. You're getting cross stitches.
Yeah.
So you're cabling, you're doing the cabling without the needle, one row. You have one rest row, which isn't rest because you're twisting through the back loop.
Sorry.
And then the next the third row is you gotta cable it a different way to make the X's. It was very time consuming, and I said, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do the Claudia because at least I can do that, small amount of cabling.
I like that was gonna be my other choice.
I want to say one of my friends from the knit group did that. My knitting group did that, and
it's in my queue, and I was looking at it when I was picking out the Zinnia Dahlia or whatever it was called, because it's a really cute hat, and it's cool Haas without being all the cables. It's
not
idea.
Gender specific. It's very neutral.
It's a good
depending on the color you do it. And I think the other part of the heartbreak on it is it just was not compatible with the Cascade Eco Wool, and so I decided that I'm going to do the Knit Picks Bear and try and get a brownish color.
Good. I have some dyes.
Well, I figured I'd make the hat and then dye it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because that way I save the white wool for something else.
Good idea. So. Yeah. It's a heartbreak, but it's going to turn into a crush because you're going to do something else. I knit that hat too, and I have to tell you, knitting Cool House once was enough for me.
I knit it twice. I knit it once for me out of Dream in Color Classy, and we know what happens with hats for me. That got ripped out, and the yarn is still sitting up in my stash waiting for something. And then my son liked it before I ripped out mine, that I ended up making one for him in Dayglow Orange acrylic yarn. Because let's face it, 10-year-old boys do not need a fancy yarn, and he loves it. Yeah. And that's what it was. My brother saw his hat when they went out, and he liked it. And he's like, can you do it again? I'm like, yeah. So unfortunately, my brother doesn't know I'm not going to be knitting Cool House, but I think he'll be happy with the Claudia as well.
It's the same idea. It's just
it's slightly different because I was comparing the two patterns.
Right, but I mean it's got that kind of diamondy pattern thing. It's just doesn't have it all over.
More and I think he'll like it better when it's not all over.
I think so too. He'll like it anyway.
My brother, I have to say, is very very appreciative. He's grown appreciative of my knitting. He loved the slippers I made for him. Running joke for the slippers is I have a hardwood floor that has insulation underneath it, but then it's an open space underneath where we store a lot of stuff outside. So he always complains that his feet are cold when he comes to my house. So I'm like, all right, I'll knit you a pair of slippers. I knit him a pair of slippers. He tried them on. I loved them when he came over for dinner one night, and I said, can I take them home? I don't want to take them off. He actually wanted me to put those soles on him so he could wear them outside, and I told him never would I ever do that to him because slippers are not meant to be worn outside. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So he ended up taking them home and brought a cheap pair of Patriot slippers to wear here. I'm like, all right, whatever. He does. He loves them. He's like, they're just as warm at my house as they were at your house. And so, yeah, it makes me feel good that he really enjoyed the slippers. And he's asked for several hats. Unfortunately, this is my older brother who lives here, not in Phoenix, also is bald. It's a trait in my family, and my poor boys will probably get that trait. So my brother wears hats all year round, and I've knit him several hats, and he enjoys each one of them. He actually lost a plain ribbed hat I made out of the Noro. Like a man's color Noro Curian, and he was very upset that he lost it. So I kind of it's nice when you get to knit for somebody who really does appreciate it, because you find often enough that there really isn't that many people who do appreciate.
Yeah, that's why the only person I knit for is my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hopefully this one will be shorter. My mom complained that the last one was
We're
too
at 34.
long.
We're at 34 minutes.
I know, we need to go. So let's go next. Let's do gossip and innuendos. Yes.
You go first. You get along. Well, maybe I should go first because I don't have
You go first.
All right. I talked about Rebecca Danger's Knitted Monsters a couple of times, and I was part of a swap. I'm sorry, I'm going out of frame. So, Knitphiliac, I was part of our Rebecca Danger monster swap, and I knitted up a monster. It was Daphne and Delilah, right?
Yes.
And I loved it. Unfortunately, I didn't take pictures before I sent it, but it was really cute. It was navy blue and green. It looked very preppy.
Like a rugby shirt.
Yeah.
Remember the rugby shirts from the 80s?
Navy blue and green stripes. And it was really cute. And then I knit up 2 little ninja monsters for her boys. So this was my little monster. And my boys got 2 monsters, but yeah, I can't find them. This was from Knitphiliac on Ravelry. It's really, really cute, squishy, soft, and just like, easy enough to throw in your pocket. But on that group as well, we do traveling monsters where I knit up a monster and he's traveled across the U.S. He's due to come back. So I'm showing you who I currently have, which her name is Freya. She is actually going to be going home to her mom after 6 months. She's been away. So this is Freya. That's my gossip and innuendo. That's all I have. Not much of gossip or innuendo, but it's fun.
I had a big weekend this weekend. I have a friend who is, she's like my knitting guru, Paulette. She has been knitting for probably 30 years more than me. She's gonna hate it that I said that. Maybe 20, maybe only 10 years more than me. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she didn't start.
She's older than me by a little bit.
Maybe she didn't start when she was 5 or 6 or 10 or 20.
But she's awesome. She is really into learning different techniques, and she's always excited to learn more. So she set up this awesome weekend trip, and I'm gonna kind of condense baubles and bling and gossip and innuendo together because it kind of fits all in.
That's fine. I have no baubles and bling.
Oh, good. I have a little. So anyway, she set up a river to set up a river.
Cry me
a river. I know. She set up a field trip, shall we say, for 4 of me and 3 other friends at the Still River Mills in Easton, Connecticut, and we'll link to their website. Very nice young couple own a farm and a small fiber processing mill, and the husband took us on a tour through the mill. It was awesome. I did a blog post previous to this that shows you pictures from the mill, and he went through all the process with us, and we got to see all this stuff. But the best part was at the end of the tour, which these nice people are doing for us on their Saturday, they opened up their store stuff to us and let us go through all the cool stuff that they had. And one of the things that they showed us that I forgot to bring with me, but they're actually making yarn for the military out of Kevlar, the stuff that you make bulletproof vests out of. It feels a lot like cotton. I think it's a Kevlar merino blend, but I was fascinated by the fact that you can make yarn out of Kevlar. Yes, that was really cool. That's the kind of stuff that they do. They have their regular stuff, but they have a lot of really exotic fibers and weird stuff that they had made some carbon fiber he told us about a few years ago. Just really interesting. So anyway, I bought a couple of their yarns. This is my favorite one. This is a limited production yarn. They got a hold of some Kiviot, and it's. You want to hold it?
Yes.
I have 2 skeins.
I've been dying to hold this Kiviot.
Isn't it different?
Oh, so soft.
It's this is a Kiviot cashmere silk blend. It's 35% Kiviot, 5% silk, and 60% cashmere. And Sheila told me a couple things on the phone the other day. Oh yeah, it's hard to see. It's like a brown, but it's got flecks of red and green, and
you can kind of see some of the red down here.
Yeah, it's a natural, more of a natural color, and it's probably a heavy lace to a light fingering weight.
So soft.
I know, it's awesome.
If I can actually say, this is softer than the Eco Duo. definitely softer than
This
the
is
Ego
by,
Duo.
I had to buy it. It was a little pricey. It was $31.50 a skein.
But you'll never get this again.
No, I won't. It's really difficult. And Sheila told me some stuff on the phone that I didn't know about Kiviat, so I looked it up so I could pass it on to you. And this is what I learned.
I will say I learned this. I want to just throw a plug in. I learned this on an episode of Knit Two Together when they were up on their knitting cruise up in Alaska.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what I learned about it, Kiviat is an Inuit word that means the wool of the musk ox, because Kiviat comes from a musk ox. And a musk ox looks to me kind of like this really weird, like dinosaur age buffalo, but
isn't the horns the ones that go down?
they're the ones that curl down, yeah.
Okay.
But it's actually, I found out the musk ox is genetically closely related to a sheep or a goat, which is why it has good fur. More so than oxen, but because it's different from both of them, it has its own genus. And they're huge. They're 4 feet high and they weigh about 600 pounds. And they are native to the Arctic areas in Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. And Kiviat is what they call the underwool. I guess the muskox has 2 layers of wool. There's the really soft underwool and then the long outer guard wool. And this wool is valued because it does not felt. It won't shrink in water of any temperature, which I didn't know. It's 8 times warmer than wool. It's stronger than wool, and it's softer than cashmere. And they have some domesticated muskox, and they either pull it off of them or they gather it from the wild where they rub against trees and stuff. I guess every spring they shed that the underwool layer, and they scrape it off on trees and branches. So it's expensive because of all those special things.
Oh, yeah.
And I never thought that I'd be able to get my hands on it, but they had a little bag of this limited production yarn, and I snatched up 2. So that was really exciting that I got to have Kiviat. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I might just have it in my stash for a while until I can find something really perfect. And then the second thing that I bought is something I already talked about. Here, you can hold one. This is the dog wool.
It's really pretty.
Isn't
Actually,
it pretty?
that's not bad of a color.
I know.
That's almost...
It's almost the exact color of
Yeah.
it.
See the halo around it?
This is called 7 Sammys. It's a worsted weight, 20% Samoyed dog fur, and 80% merino, and each skein is about 100 yards. I would not have bought this looking at it in the skein, but I saw a sample that one of the wife of the couple that owns the mill had knitted up. If you look at it, the more you work with this yarn, the more the halo of dog fur comes up, and they've dyed the dog fur a turquoise color.
You can see it.
Yes, and it's really neat. And
you can kind of see it right here.
yes, it makes a turquoise halo appear over the knitted item. This is what I'm gonna knit my zinnia dahlia hat out of.
The question I have, and I don't know if they could have answered this for you or
I know what you're gonna ask, and they did answer, but go ahead.
Allergies?
Well, if you're allergic to dogs,
You can't.
I don't know. I don't know if this is a hypoallergenic dog or not. They didn't. That was not the question I thought you were going to ask.
The only reason I ask is most people who are allergic to dog aren't really allergic to the fur so much, but it's the dander. So what did you think I was going to ask?
What Paulette asked, which is it going to smell like dog when it gets wet? And the answer is no, it's not going to smell like dog. Doesn't smell like dog now.
Let's face it, though, it can't smell any worse than wet wool.
No, wet wool
smells like a wet cat.
Funky. But I'm
pretty.
absolutely in love with it. I never thought I would knit with dog fur. It's just so cool.
How many yards does it say?
It's 100 yards
wow,
each skein, so it's 200 yards.
And that's going to be more than enough to knit
my hat. Yeah, I might have a little leftover.
Fingerless.
I was thinking if I have any leftover, I might do that. But I'm thrilled by it, and I can't wait to show you the finished product. I hope with working with it, the halo really comes up because it's the neatest effect that I've ever seen. And I can't say enough about the people at Still River Mills. You know, if you have a chance, they go to a lot of festivals. They're going to be at Rhinebeck in Maryland. They have an online store that we'll link to.
We actually already have linked to Still River.
From the last episode. From the last time. I forgot I mentioned I was going there. But yeah, they are terrific. And it was really nice of them to open their home to us. and let us come in and see everything. And, you know, I found myself thinking afterwards, God, I wish my husband would buy me a fiber mill. It's so neat.
That's everything, you know, that's what is on everybody's wish list.
Awesome. So, you know, thanks a lot to Still River Mills. So that's the one thing. The other thing that we did is we went to Webb's, and I put a picture of their storefront, and I put an awesome picture.
That was a good picture
of the warehouse.
That was a great picture of the warehouse.
If you haven't been to Webb's in Northampton, Massachusetts, and you live anywhere where it would be possible for you to get there, you've got to go. They have a yarn warehouse. They have a store, a big store, and then they have a yarn warehouse. I put a picture of a view down the aisle in the warehouse. I mean, my mom went in there.
That's only a portion of it.
It's one aisle. It's huge.
We live roughly 2 hours away from Webb's.
So we don't go out there very often.
No,
it's a day trip.
It is a day trip, but it's well worth a day trip.
Oh, yeah.
Even where I'm not one who purchases very much, but it's fun to play with yarn.
But I bought...
They also have spinning stuff there, too.
Oh, yeah. They have spinning, crocheting, knitting, weaving. I mean, they have it. I bought... This is a yarn.
A defuzz
combs. I can't even talk. It says what it is right there.
Brushes away sweater fuzz in seconds.
Yes, because I have a couple of Malabrigo sweaters, and let me tell you, those things are high maintenance. I was going to try that because my sweater stone works, but I thought maybe this might work better.
You need one of those electric ones from like the Brookstones that cuts.
Yeah, let me just tell you about a little story about that. I used that on some of my dad's dress socks that got pilled, and the next time my dad put his dress socks on, his wool dress socks, they had like 8 million holes in them.
Oh, really?
So I'm a little afraid of this little sweater shaver.
I'm glad you said that because I would never have known that.
I don't know if I just did it too rough or what, but definitely be wary of the sweater shaver. Yeah, he was really mad. Oh, I forgot to show you this. I got a pattern with my yarn from Still River Mills for these mitts, Celtic Vines fingerless gloves. I might use my yarn for that. That might be one of the things. Yeah, I might use the Kiviot for that. Just, you know, because it's kind of special. And then I bought 20 skeins of Valley Northfield, which I told you I was going to do Traveling Woman out of. I didn't bring them because I bought it's basically 2 bags of yarn. But let me just tell you, I got it out of the warehouse. So I think it worked out to be like $4 a skein.
The warehouse is discounted yarn. And then most of the yarn is also discountable.
Yes, and Valley Northfield happened to be discountable, so I clubbed in with Diane and Oz, my other friend from Ravelry, and we got a 25% discount on everything. So I ended up spending I think we figured it out to be about $70 on 2,500 yards of yarn, which is a really good deal. And they will give you the discount if you're in the store. They will give you the discount if you order from their online website. And they have excellent customer service.
Valley Yarns is also, I believe, Webb's own yarn.
It is. It's the store yarn. So they give you a good deal on that.
Right. They usually discount their own yarns.
And we found out if you come in a group, and we were 4 people.
What's considered a group, though?
I guess they thought 4 people was a group. We got a little care package, and I'm going to open it up. I haven't opened it yet. It came with a fireball and a awesome little Webb's
can never have
tape measure. Yeah, I'm actually going to give this one to my mom because she was looking for one. Some Eucalyptus sweater wash.
Yep. Which
I haven't tried that brand before. My favorite. Webb's pin. And this is a
grape candy?
I think it might be grape. I don't know.
It looks like
it looks like somebody smashed it. But yeah, that was just cute. a little grab bag of stuff for us for coming on our little tour.
They must get a lot of groups, though.
I
know
they do.
One of the Ravelry groups,
LSG went there.
Goes there.
We went there with them by design. I mean, well, they just happened to be going the same weekend we were going, and we were in LSG, so
we're
there.
in LSG. But
they got nice little grab
They
bags.
go there every year or so, if not more than
I think
twice,
so. I can't plug Webb's enough. It's really
Not
good
only
deal.
that, Webb's is in Northampton, and Northampton as a town is a really cute little town. We went in to a couple different yarn stores, and we went into a candy store and got free
samples. It was the best day ever.
It was the best day ever.
So yeah, gotta say that. And I just wanted to give you all a heads up. Right now I'm making big plans for a trip to Germany in May. That I'm not even lying to you. It is organized around when the Woolmeis store is going to be open in Munich. I'm going to Munich. And I have confirmed the weekend that Woolmeis is only open 2 weekends in May, and I'm going during one of them.
Oh.
And so I will be checking out the Woolmeis store. I'll try to get some pictures of it. And I might buy stuff. I'm not a huge fan of Woolmeis. I don't like the base very much, but I want to try the lace because I love lace knitting, and I don't think the base will bother me as much in the lighter weight. And I also just kind of want to see her yarn in person and be able to pick out stuff rather than randomly rushing to buy something on the website. So I'm excited. And I am also going to be checking out any other local yarn stores. We're going to be in Frankfurt, Stuttgart, and Munich. And it's for my 20th wedding anniversary, which is why I'm making this special trip. So as my plans get ready, we'll let you know. And we're still running really long. All right.
Okay.
So let's wrap it up.
That's pretty much it. The only plans I might be doing is I'd like to take my kids sugar mapling.
Oh, that's fun.
Because it's the season. Spring is here.
You know, we should all take our kids to the sheep shearing festival at Gore Place in Waltham.
When's that?
It's coming up April 30th.
Oh, yeah.
If you live in Massachusetts, Waltham has a historic place called Gore Place.
I've been there for a wedding. It's very pretty. But
they do a nice little sheep shearing festival. They have Civil War reenactments. It's fun for everybody, so maybe we'll do that too. But anyway,
you can find us at knitheart@gmail.com if you need to speak to us or get in touch with us.
Knit1Heart2.
Knit1Heart2, yes. TOO with the numeral 1, knit1 @gmail.com. I am Sheila D, 37 on Ravelry and Spark People, although I haven't really been on Spark People. And we also moderate the group, The Crafty Bus, on Ravelry.
Yeah, and I'm Penny Wenny on Ravelry and Penny Wenny 2 on Spark People. And you can see us, you can read our blog directly on knit1heart2, TOO, blogspot.com. Not at blogspot.
I always .blogspot.com.
No one's ever going to find the website.
Sorry.
And hopefully we'll be on iTunes. I don't know. I have to look. And when I upload this, I'll be able to figure that out. But
and if you're new, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
If you've seen us before, thanks for watching again. And hope to see you next week.
Next Wednesday.
Knit with Heart.
Yes, Knit with Heart.
Knit with Heart. There we go. Bye.
Bye.